So that's it. That's the Game Awards. Okay, right. Okay. I have a lot to say, and I want to do it quickly because it's kind of late. I appreciate what Jeff Keighley has done for the industry. He has done a lot. I remember when he first kind of paved the way. He defended Kojima and everything, and there was a lot that happened during that time. But I feel like along the way, the success of the Game Awards and everything that's happened has kind of gotten to his head, because it used to be where the ads, the commercials, the trailers were more of like the sideshow, if you will. It's like it was more like an added bonus that you got to see extra trailers and everything. And now it's not that. It's now it is a bunch of trailers and ads with awards on the side. And the problem with that is that gaming in general doesn't get acknowledged by the mainstream media or really anyone outside of the gaming industry and community. It's very rare for anyone to be involved in that process. Um, and the fact that this is essentially the Oscars or Golden Globe equivalent for the gaming industry. I mean, let's be honest. There are other award shows, but this is the one that everybody's tuning into. This is the one that everyone watches at the end of the year to celebrate the games that just came out. And in the position that Jeff has, which is a very important position because we don't get to recognize most people in the gaming industry, I feel like this should be the night that the awards come first. And I noticed they did remove some categories from the gaming awards. So a very important category that I feel like should be brought back is the gaming icon of the gaming icon. I really enjoyed hearing those stories, especially about the old lady who worked on one of the first games ever. And this is how we got here, and hearing her story of like how she had to like draw everything, and it was really educational on how the gaming industry has evolved and developed. And now we've lost that. And I think the fact that this is all just like grand show to show off more games, it it misses the opportunity to celebrate the games that have been in years of development. Like the gaming industry in general, it's not fast. It's not a fast process. It takes years, several years to develop this game, this passion project, and you should have the opportunity to celebrate it on a big stage, and you don't really get that opportunity. The Gaming Awards is the only way for you to really celebrate the games that you have been working on. When you get that achievement to win Game of the Year, to win these amazing accolades that are going to change how your studio develops. Number one, I feel like there should be more awards categories to acknowledge a lot of the people that work on the games that most people kind of just don't know about. I mean, you have QA testers, you have performance directors, you have voice directors, you have so many people that are valuable assets. I mean, you hear all these people saying over 200 people are working on this game, over 100 people working on this game. You hear them talk about the amount of people it takes to make this project, and it would be nice if we could acknowledge that and reward that. The fact that the presenters, the people who win the awards, only get like 30 seconds to give their acceptance speech, the one where it's like, I made it, I finally did it, like I got to this point. The fact that you cannot give them more time. And I understand it was to combat last year's like 8-minute speech that Christopher Judge gave. And I think there's a medium for that. Like, it shouldn't be 8 minutes long, but it also shouldn't be 30 seconds. Like, you should get at least 60 seconds to thank everyone, especially because it just feels very rushed. And I know it's already 4 hours long, but the thing is, the more important aspect, and I think everyone can agree, is acknowledging the people who have worked on these games. We live in a society where the gaming industry is crunched a lot, where they're rushed into projects, they have a tight deadline that is impossible to meet, and we should be able to take the 4 hours that they have to kind of relax and enjoy themselves and celebrate the works that they put into themselves. We should be able to take 4 hours and be able to acknowledge that work instead of it being a side piece. I mean, you plow through 2/3 of the awards, not even letting an acceptance speech or anything. Like, doing that is kind of weird when you are the person who gave them this stage in the first place. Like, that's what Jeff Keighley did. I mean, that's why he's so popular. It's because he gave the gaming industry a voice that had never been done before. And it was even, like, it's, right now, I think it's bigger than the Oscars. Like, it gets more views, I feel like, than the Oscars. And the fact that you're not taking the opportunity to acknowledge the amount of work that has gone through it. And I also think that limiting the performance nominees to only like 6 people and having a majority of it be men, that's weird to me. And I did notice that like Idris Elba. Now the thing is, this is the problem, because the way the nominees work is the problem. For those of you who don't know, the people who nominate these games in the first place, in the categories, it's the game journalists who do that. The IGN, the Game Informer, the GameSpot, they are the ones who decide who gets nominated. I don't agree with that, because number one, it is impossible for the game reviewers and everyone to play the games, the amount of games that come out every year. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 alone takes well over 100 hours to really enjoy and play through. I mean, but it's not the only one that is like a really long playthrough. I mean, you have Starfield, there's like 70 hours of story, and then you have like The Witcher 3 that is like, again, over 100 hours of gameplay, and there's no way that they play through all that. I think the best thing that the Game Awards can do is allow the fans to nominate the categories. Present more categories, and then let the fans decide. I don't think they should get total control, but they should definitely get more than 10% of the say. And for those of you who don't know, that's how much the viewers get. When we vote on the games, we actually only get 10% of the whole vote. The rest of it goes to the people that are like the Game Informer, the IGN, like those people. And let's be honest, they are not the ones who have played the game. And to be fair, the fans also are not the ones who have played all of the games. I mean, it's impossible to do so. But when you have the collective voice of everyone in the gaming industry saying this is the game that everyone should be looking at, I feel like that is the more important voice than these game critics who only like play the demo or like a dumbed down version of the game. Like, they never truly play the experience, and I think it's telling based on who gets nominated. You can always predict who is going to get nominated and who is going to win the awards, because most of them are the AAA games. You never really have indie games get that opportunity because they are not they're not well published games. Like, they don't get the media attention that the other games get, and therefore they lose out on a lot of nominations. And you notice that when when there is an indie game that is nominated, it is almost always something that has been popularized, something that's backed by Xbox or backed by a huge studio that is able to get them that recognition. Like you had, I think Cuphead was one of them, where it was backed by, Microsoft, and so they were able to get their foot in the door, but then you don't get the opportunity to acknowledge everyone else. And I think that is one of the biggest critiques that I have about the whole process in the first place, is that it's not about recognizing the games that it should be. Like, it should be recognizing everybody. One game should not necessarily pick up all of the awards, although when it's deserved, it's deserved. But at the same time, if it were up to the fans, I think I would be less on the fence about it, about some of these nominations, because a lot of these votes, they're too predictable, because we kind of, the way that I'm able to predict it is that I kind of know how this show works, and they don't want to necessarily give every award to one game. And you do notice that they put a lot of games, like a lot of the categories, to the side, and I think the thing is, it misses a lot of opportunity to acknowledge a very important aspect of the gaming industry, and that is just the people behind it. I think if we were able to do that, like, why not nominate, like, indie devs, the actual developers, or like it, like, I think that there should be just more categories, just more awards, and I think that would be able to help. The biggest problem of the gaming awards that I have is the fact that it's not really an award show, it's more of just a giant advertisement, and I think everyone kind of agrees on that. I don't think anyone really I don't think anyone would really be upset if, like, Neo Newbon had, like, just a minute to speak and say something. Like, he has to, like, I think that what's important is the people behind the video games, and it would be a shame to not give them that ability to speak into. Anyways, this has been really long. It's getting late. I'm going to call it here today, but I'm probably gonna clip some of this and put it onto YouTube separately. I'll put the whole thing on, but some of this is like, it's really long, and so a lot of it I just didn't care. I didn't really have any trailers that I was really interested in. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Like, never mind. That's fine.